Welcome back to the Yard, where faith and sports collide. On the line, we have a great guy and a good friend, Major League Catcher Nick Hundley. Nick, how you doing today, brother? Thanks for joining us.
Marcus, man, always good to talk to you, buddy. Anytime I get a chance to hang out with you, I'm excited. So I'm a pleasure to be in the Yard with you.
That tells me that you have a very boring life, if that's true.
You know what? Sometimes I wish it was boring, but no. But to be around people like you, man, and your family, it's been an honor for the last I don't know how many years we've known each other, maybe 10 now. We're getting a little older. You know, when you get families growing up together, it's cool, man. So no, I appreciate you, man, and I'm excited to be on your podcast, man.
Wow, man. Well, thanks for the love. We appreciate it. Hey, man, this is what I want to do with you, Nick. You know, we have plenty of professional athletes to come in and we talk sports first, and then we chat about faith. But I just really want to dive into it because you're headed to something really, really cool that I found out about. And, man, I think that it's awesome. And I think people should know that a lot of you guys do in the off season, besides just recoup and spend time with your families. And what you share with us, the adventure you're going to be headed on here pretty soon.
Yeah, so I'm bringing a couple other guys. Me and my wife, Amy, are on the board of an organization called Consider the Lily. And it's I'll talk more about that in a second. But it's a trip. We're going with a couple other players. And Brian Hummel, the chaplain of the Diamondbacks, we're all going to the Philippines for a week to go minister, talk about Jesus, and love on some girls over there and just be a part of it. So the Consider the Lily is the organization where a missionary named Josie Long, she's 32, I think, and she has legally adopted 49 girls that have been abused sexually and gotten them out of their current situations, and they live with her, and she disciples them and lives as a mother on a daily basis. So she's a mom to 49 girls in the Philippines, and we've been involved with them for 4 or 5 years now, and I can't wait to get over there and support them and hang out.
Well, that is exciting. How did you find out about this ministry, and what prompted your heart to be a part of it?
Yeah, so I met Josie through Brian Hummel. We do a spring training Bible study every year in Arizona, and Brian introduced me to Josie. She came out from the Philippines for a week or so and just kind of brought 2 of her older girls that had been living with her for a while, and they shared their stories. And I mean, we were crying our eyes out. Everybody was, they were, and how just to hear them speak about what their experiences have been like in the 16, 17 years they've been alive, and just to see what they've gone through and what they've been able to overcome through the love of Jesus and through the love that Josie has shared with them. And at the same time, we had our first daughter, Allison. She's 6 now. But so we kind of thought, me and Amy were like, man, this is stuff that's happening to girls. We have the ability to do something about that. Like, I would never, ever, could never imagine something worse happening to my daughter than what these girls were going through. Like, let's try to stop this, and let's try to make an impact. And once that happened, we dove all in.
Have you ever been to the Philippines, Nick?
No, this is my first time, so I'm really excited. We've been on the board for about 2 or 3 years now, and been really excited to get involved with them there. But this is boots on the ground, hanging out, going to see some homes with boys as well. Josie's done such an unbelievable job in discipling these girls. The older we support them all the way through college, pay for their education through school,
wow.
Their living expenses, everything. And her first group of girls, 4 of them have graduated college now, and one of them wants to start her own home in her hometown and disciple the girls there and get girls out of these terrible situations. And I'm just excited to be a little part of that. And, you know, what really really and helped us get involved too, other than having two girls, was I've read some Mark Batterson books. He's an awesome author from DC and pastor out there, and he said something that stuck with me was things that make you mad, sad, or glad are callings in your life for Christ, and like what those callings are. And I mean, man, what this stuff that's happening to girls in the Philippines and all over the world and in our backyards, of how some are in, sex trafficking situations or abusive situations, that makes me really, really mad. And I need, as a person in America with freedoms and the ability to travel and the ability to help out, I need to get involved in this. And so those are kind of my thought process on why we do it,
Well, I commend you on that, Nick. As you mentioned earlier, we've known each other for about 10 years and been friends and done ministry together and had meals and fun and hung out. But one thing I've always appreciated about you, when you've seen a need, Nick, you've always been eager to help out in some capacity, whether it's your time, whether it's supporting financially, whether it's just coming to kind of lend your voice for that moment or for that event. And why do you do that, Nick? Why are you benevolent with your time, your treasures, your talents? What's inside of you that causes you to do that?
That's a great question. And thankfully, at this stage in my life and my journey with Jesus, I have the answer to that. And growing up, playing baseball, doing that stuff, I always was focused on making the big leagues, making money, being on TV, winning, stuff like that. And then I came up with the Padres. I signed a 3-year contract with them in 2012. And I thought I was going to have security, and I made it. And I was like, man, everything's going to change. All my goals and dreams about building my own kingdom have come true. Like, this is going to be the most satisfying thing of all time. And absolutely nothing changed.
Wow.
And nothing happened. It was like I had zero fulfillment in trying to build my own kingdom. And that was an awesome step in my journey with Jesus, and how he showed me, like, chasing after all these things that the world has to offer, and fame and money and playing baseball, and definitely aren't going to satisfy my soul. So now, I mean, one of my favorite, I got a couple favorite verses I'll share with you here if you got a second.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah, I'm trying to live out John 15:5. Like, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. And apart from Jesus, we can really do nothing that's going to help the kingdom or be eternal. Like, we're all, Brian told me this, Hummel. He's like, we're only a couple generations away from nobody ever knowing you existed. Like, I don't know my great-grandfather, So we're only a couple generations away from that situation, and I don't want to spend my time trying to build my own kingdom when I can spend my time trying to build the kingdom and Jesus, and knowing that those are eternal rewards and eternal benefits that I'm spending my time doing. I don't know how much time we have, but I want to spend my time as a dad and as a believer, and trying to cling to the vine, So that's kind of my thought on why we do it, and why I spend my time going to Philippines or ministering with you, hanging out with you, loving on people. I realized, thankfully, 7-8 years ago, that trying to build my kingdom was a frivolous task, and I was getting nowhere with it, and trying to do things to build Jesus' kingdom and the eternal kingdom was extremely fulfilling.
Wow. I got 3 words for you after that, Nick. Pastor Nick Hundley.
No, man.
You heard it here first, buddy. You heard it here first.
I've heard you preach, man. I'm not. I've heard you preach. I know what the gold standard is. So, and I've heard you preach in Spanish too. So I need to step my game up in that end too.
Well, next time it's in Tagalog. I'll wait for you to get back from the Philippines for that one.
For sure, man.
Hey, Nick, man, thank you so much for your time. We really, really appreciate it. And we thank you for just being clear about that hope that is within you. And, we recently had Darren Carrington on, and he was sharing how when he won when he was in the Super Bowl after his rookie year, how he was so sad and depressed. And so I just want to encourage all listeners, if you're chasing after your kingdom, you know what? Even if you accomplish it, it's nothing compared to knowing God's love and His plan for you. And Nick, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for being a great friend. Love you, bro. And we'll chat with you soon, man.